Hello and welcome back to Skooky Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to be showing you some of the indie books which have been sent to me for review. Over the last couple of weeks I've been asking authors to send me review copies of their books so that I can make videos. And it's been going really great so far. And I need to come clean because I'm actually quite a slow reader. I've seen other booktubers where they talk about, oh, I read 10 books this month, or I read 15. I can't do that. I just can't. I can maybe read 4 if I'm really trying. But that said, I'm always reading for my day job. I work as an editorial assistant. In the evening, I freelance edit. And I write my own books as well, so I am always reading all of the time. I've been really excited to share these books and I just haven't been able to read them quick enough. So I'm making this showcase video so that I can share more of the books and help them find more readers, because essentially that's what I'm trying to do. Quick disclaimer, for every book that I'm going to show you, I have read some of the material already. It's just to make sure that it's right for my blog and it's right for me, that I connect with the writing, and also that there aren't any massive glaring issues in it which make me think that I won't be able to make it to the end. So let's move on to the books. The first book I'm going to talk about is Dark Tides by J.J. Marshall. This book is a underwater fantasy based on fairy tales. I was super excited when I saw this. I asked the author straight away, yep, please send me a copy. I cannot wait to read it. And I haven't read an Under the Sea book for quite a long time. I think To Kill a Kingdom a couple of years ago was the last one I read. So I'm super looking forward to this one. It's got some things that I really love in it as well, like art. I know it might not look like much, but when a self-published author chooses to create this kind of art to put into their books, I just think it gives it a real personal touch that makes me like it even more. And I can say that I've already read the first chapter and the prologue, and there's a lot of mystery and there's just a lot of stuff that I'm intrigued about. I can't wait to read more of this book. The next book I am also super excited to read. It's Mark of Favour by Caitlin Keller. I'm super excited to read this one because it's based on Japanese folklore. This is actually a book that I saw being retweeted on Twitter, and I got in contact with the author that way to say, hey, can I please? I've already read chapter 1 and I already absolutely love it. I can't wait to read more. It has that anime feel to it, that manga feel. Because, of course, it's based on Japanese folklore, so of course it will. I do love everything to do with Japan. I almost went to Japan for my honeymoon before the world fell apart. The main setup of this book is a Western girl has to move to a school in Japan because her dad's changing jobs. And, yeah, she doesn't quite fit in, but she does earn the respect of a certain critter. That's all I know so far, but the writing, it flows well, and the story is just my cup of tea. So, looking forward to reading that one. Next up, we have The City of Snow and Stars by S.D. Howard. It's a young adult fantasy novel, but it does have a darker tone to it. There's a content warning for abuse and trauma, and I think it's just generally a book that if you've gone through those experiences and you know they're triggering to you, then you possibly don't want to read this book. But at the same time, the content warning from the author in the beginning has me very confident that I'm in safe hands with this book. I think the author's drawn on his own personal experiences and has addressed them with sensitivity. And I say this as someone who's only read the first chapter or two, but I already get that sense from the author. The first paragraph in this book is really, really good. It establishes the character, their conflict, and there's just a heavy emotional weight behind what's going on. And do you know what? By the end of the first chapter, I kind of almost wanted to cry already. It's just very well written, just very emotional. And it was already taking me on a journey, and I'd only read the first chapter. So I have such high hopes for this book. It's also Christian fiction, so I think it's going to have a further meaning behind it as well. It's got some beautiful maps in the beginning that I won't spoil. Yeah, it has quite a lengthy acknowledgements page, so I can just feel that loads of people have come together to help make this book and to help support this book. And that just gives me a lot of faith that this will be a good book. I have a feeling that this book's probably going to make me cry, but in a good way. Let's move on to the next one. This is Everything All at Once by Ivy Caden. I've got to say, it's a bit of a weighty book. It seems to be printed in quite a large form, and it's set in a way which I wouldn't personally recommend, because you can see that there's lines between the paragraphs. So instead of setting it with indents and no extra line spacing between the paragraph, they put in extra line spacing and haven't indented. When you're self-publishing, I guess it's up to you, but I would say the only thing I find a little bit off-putting about this book is just the sheer weight of it. I know it's not going to be as long as it feels, but it does feel quite heavy and cumbersome. Perhaps the ebook might be better for this one, or perhaps that doesn't put you off at all. I mean, now that I have the book, I don't particularly mind. I can just see a way to make the printing cheaper for both the author and the person buying it. That said, just take a look at all the awards that this book has won. I know I'm in safe hands. This is going to be a fantastic read. Even if I don't like it, loads of other people have, so I think there is a audience for this book, and I think you don't need to wait for me to review it. Look into it, and if it sounds good, I think you can trust that you can buy it and you'll have a good read. Unlike the other books, this isn't young adult fantasy, it's contemporary, and I do enjoy a contemporary book from time to time, so I have no problem reading this. I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot. What I really love about this book is it has a playlist to go along with it, and the songs are mentioned in the text as well, so you can listen as you read the book to sort of like heighten that experience. I think that's such a good idea, and it's something so unique to this book. It's got its own style as well, which I really like. And from the first chapter, the dialogue just flows so easily. It gives it a good fast pace. It feels very easy to read. I can't wait to sit back and relax and just go on this contemporary romance experience. So the next couple of books that I want to talk about are all e-copies that I have. So I can't show them up, but I will find a picture and I will share that. So the first one I'm going to talk about is The Sigil by Shaquille Canish and Larissa Mandeville. This is a young adult book, and it sounds like it's going to be a supernatural type fantasy, set in the real world and with a bit of darkness. The main character's brother is killed, and he seemed to know it was about to happen, and there's some magic-y stuff going on. So yeah, sounds like a fantastic read to me. So I've read the opening chapter. It starts with strong writing, it's quite fast paced, and I really love the imagery in the very opening bit. So I have, real high hopes for this one. The other reason why I'm super excited for this one is it's an own voice story. The author is openly gay, and he's got gay characters in his book, so I can't wait to read it. So this one's actually published by Three Furies Press as well, so it's got the backing of a small publisher. Woo! Right, let's move on to the next one. So the next book I'm going to talk about is Splintered Souls by Siobhan Lim. This is a young adult dystopian book. It feels a bit like espionage. There seems to be a war going on. So I absolutely love the prologue of this one. It pulled me in right away. It started off with a prison break, and it was fast, smooth to read, and just made me want more. I have moved on to chapter 1, and I found that there's a couple of issues. The tense seems to jump around a bit, and also the dialogue tags are not used correctly in the slightest. If I'm honest, things like that really do put me off personally. As someone who's an editor day and night, if I'm reading a book and it's got like big glaring corrections in it, I do find it a little bit hard to ignore. That said, there's a quality about it which is still really pulling me in, and I think I can look past all these technical details and just enjoy the story. I'm actually a little bit interested in that though, so can people like comment down below, do things like dialogue being formatted incorrectly, do they put you off? The only other thing is that there's a lot of exposition in the beginning as well. It's kind of interesting exposition, but at the end of the day it's still exposition, so I can't quite tell if I'm going to enjoy this one or not. If I can just look past some of the minor details and just enjoy the story as a whole, then I definitely will, and I will report back and tell you what a great read this is. But at the moment I'm seeing lots of glaring issues, which I have brought up with the author, who turned around and told me that the book has been edited. So at the moment I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with this one so that I can talk about it more with confidence. I was going to pick my favourite one or which one I was going to read next, but I honestly don't know. Especially because I've read a little bit of all of them and all of them have made me want to read on in one way or another. I just don't think I could choose. Which means my reading for the next couple of months is sorted. I will not buy any more books, especially not before I move house. And I also won't be accepting any more review copies. I want to make sure that when I accept review copies, I have the time to actually read them and give them proper reviews. I don't want to just be hastily rushing through and spouting out some half nonsense. Or maybe that's what I'm doing anyway, I don't know. But that's why I won't be accepting any further review copies at the moment. But as soon as I have more time, because I'm really hoping to do this for the long run, I will let you guys know on my YouTube channel straight away. I will also tweet about it, but the best way to find out if I'm reviewing again would be to follow and subscribe. See what I did there? You have to subscribe now. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. And thanks so much to the authors for sending them to me as well. So far, I really love what I see in all of them. All of them make me want to read them more, which is why I'm talking about them.